Hi everyone, it's Tanya with Riley & Company. This is a short, quick video on how to assemble the Mushroom Lane 3D stamps. And if you don't know about Mushroom Lane, I'll just give you a real quick rundown. They're made by Riley & Company, and it's basically a town full of mushrooms and places that little gnomes and fairies would live. So we have all kinds of mushrooms. I'll show you some cards. So here is a 2-level house. We have apartments, like that. We have schools. We have churches, believe it or not. We even have libraries. And we have a house with a shed and hospitals and even little snowy houses. And some of the little mushrooms and gnomes live in tree trunks. And some of them live in little clay pots. Here's a little tall clay pot and a little short clay pot. And some of them even live in little teapots. We have little teapots. And if you notice, they are 3D. Okay, you can of course use the rubber stamp, not in 3D, but it's a lot more fun to cut them out and assemble them up so they're all 3D. This is our second little clay pot. We have two little teapots for you to choose from, and a whole bunch more. You can go to our website and find those. The series is made in red rubber, okay, with a cling back. So all you have to do is peel the white paper off that it comes with and attach it to a block of your choice. And it just clings right on there, okay? And just use ink to clean it or stamp it. Now, if you're going to use Copics, you need to use a dye-based ink or a pigment ink that has been approved to use with Copics. Otherwise, it'll smear. Our choice, we use Memento. If I'm going to use my Copics, and I love my Copics to do these. So I use Memento. Now the stamps, some of the stamps, not all of them yet, but some of them, they've been around for a while. We started introducing the dies to go with them. Okay. And what they do is they cut out pieces and it layers them into little parts that you can work with. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working with today. I need to pull that down a little bit so you guys can see. All right, so this is what we're going to be working with. Now, the biggest tip that I can give you is to stamp your image once and spend all your time coloring that image. Okay, sometimes it takes me, 30, 45 minutes to color an image depending on how fast I'm going. Now, once you have it colored on cardstock, of course, photocopy this. Seriously, keep the original and make several photocopies on cardstock, and then you won't have to color it all these different times. Easy, right? So your dies, the base stamp does not have a die to match, okay? So it is what you're going to stamp on cardstock first. If we did a base stamp, you'd have to add it to all these different sizes, and it is just not cost effective. We ask people that all the time. So you have to fussy cut the first one if you want to. These we have fussy cut and just used it as an individual piece that I could put on anything. But if I want to make a card, I can also do the regular size, photocopy it and cut it out on the regular size, and my first layer is done. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to layer these up and turn them into 3D cards. It is so simple. On the additional layers, you're going to take each piece, and each piece takes roughly 3 to 4 more copies, and you just lay it on there like this, tape it down, and run it through your machine. Then your next layer, of course, and you just keep going with the pieces parts until they are all cut out like this. All right, easy, huh? Super simple. So the next thing I like to do when you die cut them out of white cardstock, you're going to have a little edge that's white, and I don't really like that. So what I'm going to do is take vintage photo. I always have a little Distress ink vintage photo pad sitting next to me, and I just very carefully and very softly go around all the edges. And I do this if I hand cut too. I just like to get rid of that white edge. And I do it on all my little pieces. Okay. And it only takes a couple minutes. Okay, and that's my little window. And so now we're all done. It only took a second, and we just do the edges. Now I have a pencil. This is one of my favorite tools to use with mushroom laying. And let me show you why. You can put it on here flat, and they look adorable flat. You don't have to do this, right? You can put it on there flat. It's cute. But with the rounded images like the mushrooms, I like to just lay them over a pencil and just kind of roll it like that. All the edges, just roll it a little bit. Not too much. It's not going to need too much. So there's that one. And I'm just the edges of the little mushroom house. Really easy. And if you notice, it just gives it a little bit of a curve. That's all we're looking for. We're not wanting to curl it under. Just a little bit of a curve, okay? And I did that. It got away from me. I didn't know where it was. All right, and I don't remember if I did that one, so it's better safe than sorry. So I'm just going to roll the edge really quick. And then comes the fun part, all right? We are going to assemble. So we start with our base, and we have our, you can use pop dots if you want, but I use foam tape just because it's a little quicker. You can look on our website, and we have this pop dot tape that has 3 different sizes in it. And it's really inexpensive stuff. So I am just going to turn over my pieces. And we are just going to secure pieces on them. I'm going to do one up the middle. I'm really not too diligent when it comes to this. I just put tape on it wherever it fits, basically. Make sure that I get it nice and sturdy because people are going to want to touch and play with this. So I'm going to put my tape on. All right, put one at the top here, 2 on the sides. And then with the tape, it gets a little small. So I'm going to grab my little dots here, my little squares, and put a couple on the bottom. All right. And I'm going to put one on my little door, maybe 2. These are my little tree trunks. Put a couple on each one. I told you I'm not real methodical about this, am I? Sometimes I get too many, and then I have to take one off and put it back, like this right here. They just stick back on. Okay. And so now comes the fun part. And it's always easier if you stand up to do this. Now we are going to take the biggest part first, and we're just going to layer it. Okay, so we're just going to tear our tape off. All the time in making these cards is spent in the coloring. So if you have your images, just stamp all of them at one time and sit down and just have a blast and color, you know? Then you'll have them all and you can make cards quickly anytime. So you're just going to sit this right on top of there. Just look for the lines. Okay, and those edges curl over a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is take our next layer and peel the tape off it. Okay, and of course we're just going to just keep layering and stacking them right on top of each other. We've got our final layer there. And sometimes when you photocopy these, the paper bends and it makes little cracks like this. And I don't worry about that because I have vintage photo ink. And I'm just going to go back over it and just touch it. And it kind of makes it look soft or aged, you know, a little bit, just a little bit. I'm going to put that right on top. I am going to get my door. And each piece has different layers, of course. I'm going to take my bottom, Put it on. And you can even cut out pieces to go on these that aren't in the die cuts, okay, in the die cut set. I mean, think about it. You could cut out the little flowers. You could do all kinds of stuff with it. And finally, we have our window. See how cute that is? Super easy. I do like to add crystal lacquer and stickles. My favorite stickles is Stardust. And I use glossy accents from Ranger. And you can get those on our website soon, if not now, depending on when you're watching this. But it's fairyland, right? So you have to add glitter to everything. And I love the Stardust particularly because it goes with every single color that I can find. So I'm just going to put glitter on these, and I'll come back in later, and I won't make you watch me add glossy accents to the top. All right, and I'm just going to put some around the door. And of course, this is an optional step. You don't need to do that. But there you have it. That is how to put together a Mushroom Lane stamp to make it 3D. Make sure you go to our website at RileyandCompanyOnline.com and shop for Mushroom Lane. Have a great day.